Ethan loved the wild. He lived for the perfect shot, the glimpse of raw nature. Africa was his passion. He spent months there, tracking lions. He wanted to capture their power, their majesty. Ethan knew their ways. He respected their space. He never intruded, never interfered. He was a guest in their home. He never forgot that. He was armed, of course. Safety was paramount. But he hoped he would never use the rifle. It was for the worst-case scenario. The sun beat down. The air shimmered. This was the African savanna. It was a place of stark beauty. It was harsh, unforgiving. Ethan moved slowly, carefully. He followed a pride of lions. He had been tracking them for days. He was close. He could feel it. The land was a tapestry of life and death. Zebras grazed peacefully. A cheetah stalked its prey. Vultures circled overhead, waiting. Ethan watched it all through his lens. He was a silent observer. He stumbled. Ethan fell. Pain shot through his ankle. He cursed under his breath. A twisted ankle. He was alone. He reached for his radio. It was gone, lost in the fall. He was stranded. Panic welled up inside him. He pushed it down. He had to stay calm. He needed a plan. He had to find help, but how? He was injured, alone. The sun began to set. Shadows stretched across the savanna. He was running out of time. Night fell. Darkness enveloped him. The sounds of the savanna were amplified. Insects buzzed. Hyenas cackled in the distance. He was vulnerable. He knew it. Then he heard it. A low growl, deep, guttural. He froze. Two eyes glowed in the darkness. A shape emerged from the shadows. A lion, old, scarred. It limped towards him. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. He was trapped. The lion watched him. Ethan didn't move. He held his breath. The lion circled him slowly. It was assessing him. Ethan met the lion's gaze. He saw pain in those amber eyes. He saw age. He saw weariness. He saw a reflection of himself. The lion lowered itself to the ground. It lay down a few feet away. It didn't take its eyes off him. Ethan exhaled slowly. He wasn't sure if the lion was a threat, but he was too injured to run. He was at the lion's mercy. He closed his eyes. Exhaustion claimed him. Section 6. The hunt. He awoke to the sound of the lion moving. Ethan watched as the lion struggled to its feet. It limped towards him. It nudged his leg with its head. A low growl rumbled in its chest. Ethan understood the lion was hungry. It needed help. He followed the lion. They walked for what seemed like hours. The lion was slowing. It was clearly in pain. Ethan's ankle throbbed, but he pushed on. He had to help the lion. It was his only companion in this vast wilderness. Section 7. An unexpected protector. They reached a watering hole. Zebras gathered, unaware of the danger lurking in the tall grass. The lion watched them. Its muscles tensed. It was ready to hunt, but it hesitated. It looked at Ethan, a silent plea in its eyes. Ethan knew what he had to do. He raised his camera. He zoomed in on the zebras. He clicked. The shutter snapped. The sound, though faint, was enough. The zebras bolted. The lion gave chase. Section 8. The rescue. The sound of the camera shutter was faint, but it carried. It reached the ears of a search party. They had been looking for Ethan for days. They followed the sound, and there he was, sitting beside a magnificent lion, both injured but alive. The reunion was emotional. Ethan was safe. But as they prepared to airlift him to safety, he looked back at the lion. It watched him with those knowing eyes. A deep connection had formed between them. An unlikely bond. Section 9. Scars and memories. Ethan never forgot his time in the wild. The savanna held a new meaning for him. He walked with a limp, a constant reminder of his encounter. He returned to Africa many times. He never saw his lion again, but he knew it was out there, living free. He had learned a valuable lesson. The wild was a place of both beauty and brutality. He had faced his own mortality. And he had found an unlikely companion, an old, wounded lion, a creature he had come to respect, a creature he would never forget.